Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for all attending today, another one of our healing hours here within Paul Church. So lovely to see so many of you in attendance today, and it's just a joy to be back in this healing atmosphere once more. We've missed it so much. Great delight to welcome our guest and presenter today, Mr. Kevin Biggs, and if you've not already guessed, he will be doing the Tibetan temple bowls. So Kevin will deliver a short talk about the bowls and maybe some of their history, how he smuggled them through customs and how he managed to smuggle them through customs. That may be a bit graphic, but
the short version of that one.
But then he will also do a guided meditation using the bowls. After which we hand over to the wonderful healers that abound within this church. We will have healers operating in the healing room to the rear here. There will also be some healers working here within the church. I will hand out the healing cards when we get to that time, and I'll explain that separately. But anyway, enjoy one of the greatest gifts and benefits of spiritualism, and that is healing in whichever form it manifests. And thank you too to all of those who are joining us at home. We hope that you get some knowledge, some understanding, and please feel free to ask any questions that you may require in the chat bar. And the lovely Pauline, who is our online host and moderator, will do the best to answer them or to pass them on to be answered. So everybody, all that we ask for is an open mind, that peaceful vision, that serenity, and just let it flow. Take from today that which you need. So if you'd like to join me just in a short prayer. O gracious and divine Spirit, that source from which all things flow and all things return. We're here for this short time with so many trammels, so many trials to go through, but we know that we can receive that healing balm, be it through touch, be it through voice, be it through talks or understanding. It flows in abundance, unasking, but there for all to receive if they so choose. And we thank you for your presence here today and for making all of us here present a part of this healing journey. Amen.
Amen.
So Kevin, sir, if I
Thank
can
you very
hand
much,
over to you.
Lawrence.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I've been privileged enough to spend time in Cambodia, Angkor Wat and Vietnam and studied in quite a few of the temples out there. So, temple bowls, they're different from your conventional singing bowl. You actually gong them, so it makes a slightly different sound. They're sound healing. I'm sure a lot of you have done some sort of sound healing in the past. Sound healing is the vibration of the sound and the sound wave that goes out and hits you at the parts that you most need that tone to work, i.e. that tone to heal you. We have two types of bowls here this afternoon. Just a short selection of some of the ones I've managed to acquire over a period of time. We spent quite a lot of time in the temples and going to watch the monks in ceremonies actually do this. And to be sat as you are and let these sound waves go over you, I found, I can't quite put that into words. It really sort of blew me away. And the more we studied and the more we worked, and we were allowed to actually use them in the temples, which is quite a privilege because not many people are allowed to actually be hands-on with them. The more hooked I become as I quite do in spiritual things. So it's okay, so I want to own some of these. How do I go about that? And the monks told us there's several wholesalers we may try. So I'll try and cut this as short as possible. So we got our driver, who's also our interpreter. We heads out this morning and we drove for absolutely miles till we come to the first warehouse we were told about. And basically the gentleman there give us some really ridiculous prices because he said these ones have got a high gold content. Well, technically he didn't want to sell them to me. So after sort of trying to persuade him that we were serious, we weren't just a couple of tourists who out for a jolly ride, we give that one a miss. And we headed off to the next place we were told about. And we got there and looked at what temple bowls and gongs they had, and the next thing we knew, the warehouse open fronted like this and the backs had shutters. The shutters were drawn down and there was no one in sight. So we hung around there for a little while and decided that they didn't want to actually deal with us either. So we've done a couple of others in the meantime, but we edited the last result. And we got to the last result one, and we got out there and we talked to the man, and the interpreter talked to the man, and he basically went off into the little room at the back of the warehouse and shut himself away. I thought, well, this is going to be a total no-goer. Like, while we were there, we might as well actually have a sample of the wares. So I started gonging the bowls and doing bits and pieces, and after what seemed like an eternity, the man decided he would come out of the office at the back and find out what was happening. And he come over to me and said, "You know how you know?" In his broken sort of English. And I tried to explain to him then that I'd done some studying in the temples and was very interested and would like to really take these back to England and promote it a bit more. His main concern was I was going to use the gongs and the bowls as some sort of rock band. Which obviously you do see some rock bands do have big gongs. So after a lot of talking to him and persuading him that no, I was serious, and we then got talking about the spirits and etc. and that sort of broke the ice, and eventually after a fair amount of time he decided that it was okay for him to actually sell them to me, which was lovely. So I managed to buy some that time, and then talking to our interpreter thereafter, he did say you were quite honoured. He said because most of them won't sell them to you. And I sat and I thought about that. For what I was actually going to spend in their premises out there was a considerable amount of money for them. And for them to be so precious of what their spiritual instruments are, that they'd rather go without that money than sell them to someone who's going to use them incorrectly. You think, okay, that is something. It weren't just about money with them, it was the intent and the use. As with all sound work, it's the sound and the energy, as I said, that goes out and actually resonates with you. So we got two different types. We got a cast bronze, and we got a pressed steel. They're slightly different, but they're all done in exactly the same way. They're all used in the temples. They're all used for sound work, and it is the sound work that actually just echoes out, as you'll find out in a little while. So yes, a lot of them I did actually bring back in hand luggage, which there's been several trips. Knowing the weights I could do, so that one is actually 24 kilo. That's the maximum you're allowed to actually put in your luggage thing. Combinations of others make up obviously 24 kilo in each case, and etc. So that's how they were brought back. No, actually we got through customs okay. They didn't really quibble too much. I got some strange looks, and sort of a couple of questions. What are you doing with those? But they were fine. It is the sound that actually just goes through you. And when we was at the different temple sites, it managed to actually take you to an altered state. When they're done in temples in ceremonies, as per you, sitting out there or laying down on the floor, and the monks would actually do them, it is very easy to go into a different state of mind, which is what the monks use them for. It helps you go into a deeper meditation state, and while you're in that deeper meditation state, it makes your body much more receptive to the actual vibrations and the sounds coming out. When I do work with them later on, as Lawrence found out, you'll be drawn to one of the bowls. They all ring at a different resonation. It's said that whichever one you're most drawn to is the sound you actually need. It's the sound that's going to be most effective to work on whatever ailments you're trying to cleanse. we were lucky enough to go to a couple of very, very special um, evening ceremonies. They do a full moon ceremony at a temple in Da Nang. It's right on the coastline. It's up on a mountain, and we were told, okay, if you get here for 8 o'clock, you should be all right. We booked a taxi to get there for us, and this temple site is huge, and there was all manner of vehicles turning up at this, as they do in Vietnam and Cambodia. You had tuk-tuks with 3 families on and 10 people on a motorbike and all the strange stuff you get from out there. 2 huge plateaus, and the temple being slightly higher, and the bowls were brought to the front, and you just made yourself comfortable on the plateau somewhere. And when it rung out over that and over the ocean, you were somewhere different entirely. It was another strange one. Me and my wife were the only Westerners there. It's not something Westerners are normally invited to. So we were once again very lucky to be able to go to that and be able to learn from that. I think that's a really short, quick talk through what the temple bowls are. As I said, they're gong. They're not like your conventional singing bowl. They're something very different. And it's whatever tone and sound, you'll find it will resonate with your chakras. So in other places, people do find that your solar plexus, your heart chakra will be stimulated. That is very normal, so don't be put off by any effects you may be feeling when we start working with the temple bowls. I don't think I've got much else to actually quickly explain on that. I will throw it open for a few quick questions if anyone's got any questions that I might not have covered. But otherwise, yes, please. No, that's good.
So is it, you say about the sounds for a certain chakra, so does everybody vary in their own sound for their own chakra?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people will find that will activate the third eye. Others find that activates their third eye. It's whatever your individual makeup responds to. So you'll find everyone will get a slightly different from each one. Was there anyone else, please?
Yeah, I know the bowls resonate at different hertz for particular parts of the body, but does the usage on the bowl affect the resonation? So like you made to be, if you're using one particular, you'd have to have it kind of retuned or rescribed to maintain that resonation for that hertz.
The bowls, when they're made, are made at a particular note, and they retain that forever. They won't alter. Is that? Oh, yeah. Please.
Are the bowls tapped into shape, some of them?
They are, obviously, they're all hand done. These ones here are actually cast and then hand finished. So hand smoothed and polished up, etc. These are, they're pressed. So it's a sheet of scorching hot metal that's put between a cup and it's pressed down, and then they are hand finished from there on. They're just a raw piece of metal. So they are then actually ground to get the tone, and these are all black lacquered. So that's the variation basically. Thank you very much. What I'd like to do in a moment is we'll do some sound healing with the bowls. If you just sit and relax and let them see what they do for you, and we can find out which one resonates with you, which one hits. So it's also working with Thank you all very much. I always like to throw it open at this point, just so we get a quick couple of feedback. So I know most people in any workshop you're doing, you'll sit there thinking, I'm experiencing something I'm not sure. So if we get a couple of people in the room to give feedback, it just confirms that you're not the only one experiencing those feelings or sensations. So we've got a little bit of time, Lawrence?
Yeah.
If I could just get sort of a couple of people who would like to give some sort of feedback on what they felt, they liked it, didn't like it, felt they liked the tone coming from, please, if you...
I think it's lovely. I feel really relaxed.
That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to relax and let you go into a much deeper state of relaxation, which enhances your meditations. Thank you very much. Please.
I felt that when you were playing those bowls, the resonance was a lot deeper, it lasted a lot longer, and I could have, with some of the sounds, gone into like the vortex of following the sound.
Yeah.
Lovely. Absolutely.
It's supposed to take you a lot deeper. They've got different tones, and they some work better outside, some don't make quite a good inside a room. The more you can get the room to actually work with you, and the echo bounces about, the better it is. We've got one other person, perhaps you'd like to give, please?
I felt in my solar plexus that heat, a lot of heat, and spirit was very close with it. It's beautiful.
It will draw. When the monks start working with them, the idea is it's actually the sound that draws spirit in anyway. So directly you started working with them, you're sending that signal up to the spirit world to follow through. And most times when I do work, we do get a lot of spirit coming through, especially because why have we got this happening in Paul? It's an Oriental, basically, sound. It's an Oriental instrument, so you will attract the curiosity of spirit, if nothing else, to follow that sound wave back down and find out why are we working with temple bowls, and it'll be the spirits of the temple that will be drawn in first. But yes, any sound healing will activate or trigger chakra points. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One more then.
Feel that my body's vibrating even now.
Yeah, it carries on resonating within the body. People say that it goes so deep, your actual bones start shaking after a while. It penetrates right inside that depth, and it will carry on resonating for a little while. It should wear off after a few more minutes. I'll hand back to Lawrence if I may then.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Lawrence.
That was lovely.
Please come and talk to me afterwards.
Yes, please do. I did find as well with the cast ones, the sound was much more immersive. When I had my eyes shut, I'm like, you're everywhere. That's really interesting.
It's lovely the way it actually bounces off the walls as well.
Yeah.
Although I'm in one static place, in the past people said, you sound like you was over there and over there.
Exactly, I was thinking,
And then,
has he done that?
yeah. I'm afraid I'm not that clever, but it works in fantastic ways.
Brilliant. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for your time,
Thank
your
you all very
knowledge,
much.
and of course your wonderful collection. So much appreciated.
This is only a small part of it.
Ooh, well, you
Well
know
said.
we will be having you back again.
Thank you.
You've got so much to teach us. Thank you, Kevin. So thank you all those people joining us online. We hope that you've enjoyed today and learned a little bit more about sound healing, and hopefully incentivise you to start that journey yourself to look into it. You're sat there on the internet and you have the sum total of the human knowledge at your fingertips. So please, please, please just investigate. So we say goodbye to everybody watching us online now, and now we hand over to the healers of the church. So would the healers of the church please stand up? Please stand up. Please, oh, it's over there. No.